to change up the front image from what it was before. I really truly enjoy this image. I really want to pull this through with a lot of the other works that I have going on moving forward for my final. I do like it, this idea of monochromatic coloring with the grays and the blacks, only because that is how the brand originally started. Um, the owners truly believe that that works for them. However, I do agree that I need to add some form of a color, so I've decided to, against the grays, add a pop of color every now and then. We have the introduction here, just kind of giving an overview of who 12 Gates is. Some old alchemy photos, going right back to the very beginning. A little story about how 12 Gates did get their name. In terms of visuals, these colors are going to be bright and crisp and highlighting a lot of the products that 12 Gates offers. We're also going to have lifestyle photos. We're going to have photos of the musicians, since that is a big part of the brand. Some imaging of the food that is served. We also are going to do a lot more highlights on the monthly events, doing a lot more with the graphics and more print ads. As you can see, 12 Gates does do a lot, and it's time that they really truly promoted themselves in the community, because they do have some great things going on. Here are just some of the images that they have. For example, this is their Dark Side of the Moon party. Here we have some images and visuals of the concert series that we have going on at 12 Gates. As I said, Fridays and Saturdays, there's always live music in the tap room, which is unique amongst the competition. Again, bringing back a pop of color for the observation. This slide will highlight the recognitions that 12 Gates has in the community for their beer. You can see that it's also featured on shelves in Wegmans. This image to the right is showing a local restaurant that has quite a few of 12 Gates on tap, which is great. This slide, and again for the observation, is just pointing out we have 12 Gates located up here. 12 Gates is unique in that it's a destination brewery. So here are 3 of the other breweries that are the big competition. They're all stacked right near each other, which is a little convenient. They are downtown. They're walkable, and you can jump from one brewery to another, whereas you do have to travel a little bit to get to 12 Gates, and if you've never been there before, it is a little bit of a challenge. We have our SWOT analysis, highlighting who the people are, who, we have in this top corner some of the staff showing their fun, vibrant personalities, but also these other images showing people in their time at 12 Gates, enjoying themselves. They're younger, 21 and up. There's going to be more research done on the social media content that 12 Gates currently has. I think they really could do a little bit of a better effort there. And one of the concerns with 12 Gates and the positioning that I'll be working on is their location. As I mentioned, it is a destination brewery. And here's just an example of some of the questionnaires I'm going to be submitting to the local community, and having a focus group. The difference in the cans, as you can see here for the products, 12 Gates started with just this black and white can. Very simple, very basic, and now every time that they launch a new beer, the logo is more detailed, it's a little bit more creative, there's vibrant, fun colors, which is why against the gray, I want to have that contrast with the color, a nice pop. I want that to be flowing through in all of my visuals. I also really love this image of a key that I'm going to keep consistent through a lot of my works. I think it's just kind of neat. It's a nice little play on 12 gates as a name, and it kind of gives customers that ownership of being a part of something. So I like the way that the key represents that. Some more visuals as we get into our brainstorming. One of the bigger issues that I will be investigating is, would a second location help 12 gates, or do we really need to just focus on the branding efforts for the one location? I plan to do a little bit more rebranding, really get back into the old school guerrilla marketing. I think there's a lot more that can be done outside of social media. And that's not to say ignoring social media, because we'll definitely be working on that. But everything needs a little bit of a brush up. 12 Gates on Tour. It's one of the design that I came up with for a billboard. 12 Gates is located at the base of an airport. So right at the bottom of that landing strip, there it is, in the middle of nowhere, all on its own, is 12 Gates Brewery. There's only one airport in Buffalo. Everybody's aware of where it is, so I think a little bit of a play on that in terms of generating more patrons. We're going to also be working on more colorful design branding in their social media across all of their platforms. Right now it is a little dull, does not have any creative strategy around it. It's simply just snapped photos. I've been working with this font, Centaur. I really like this. It kind of is giving me the medieval feel that I'm going for. 12 Gates has that medieval feel. It's a little dark, it's a little eerie, so I want to play on that. I'll be continuing using this font throughout all of my works. Black and white, as I said before, has been very big for the company, but I want to start adding in these colors. Not necessarily these colors specifically, but just to give the idea of what that does against those monochromatic colors. Some more visuals. And the conclusion. So as I said, one of the biggest things that I'm going to be working on is the rebranding. I want 12 Gates to be recognized for their logo and the brand identity before their products. I think the products will speak for themselves, and in due time will have their own featured highlights, but there does have to be a new shift in attention on the brand itself. The next item that we have is the IMC Plans book template. So I have this here, and I don't know why it didn't pull up, but I do have the background as more of a gray because I want to start putting in those colors. These blacked out boxes are going to be for imagery. We have some quotes floating through there, and I want to bring in the image of this key. So I want that to be a little bit more consistent. I did decide to go with the portrait view rather than the landscape view. I feel like it tells a little bit of a nicer story for 12 Gates, since a lot of the other works that I have will be going in the landscape view. So just different image setups, and keeping in tune with that same font. So then the PowerPoint template. We have 12 Gates Brewing Company. I love this image because it is very simple. It shows the glassware that's unique and the logo that is unique for the brewery. And then I wanted to have that show the tie-in of the orange against the beer, which I think is really nice, set against the gray. There will be some more images that will be dropped in. I do like these verticals. I like that setup and how the structure is going to easily flow that way. So that will be my cover and the first slide. To use this template and keep running with this for the brand, I do like this. Then we have the final creative brief. And I have kept the orange. I like the orange. I'm going to keep using the orange for that nice pop of color. It might not be the only consistent color, but that is going to hold the most weight. So back this up a little bit. I have on here who is 12 Gates. For 21 and up, we have families, couples, business people, craft beer consumers, entertainers, anyone in the Western New York community looking for quality products and a welcoming atmosphere. The problem is that 12 Gates as a brand is not fully recognizable. Their destination location makes it difficult for new consumer recruitment, and at times the brand image can come off as inconsistent. So going through on this creative brief, it's very simple, black and white, pop of color. I like the horizontal lines. I think those are a nice breakup. I think it goes along with the tone of what 12 Gates is as a brand. As I mentioned here, it's not loud and in your face, but they're confident. So to really do a switch up from what the brand originally started as and make it something completely brand new, I think would be a detriment to the brand. I don't think that's going to help. But I think that the brand could use color as almost like a little facelift. It's exciting. Again, not loud and in your face, but it's bold. Really exudes that confidence. I went and shrunk down the social media icons. Those were a little bit distracting, and changed the header. And how do we want people to feel? So for the brand, I also think that this goes along with the design and creative. I think I want people to feel welcome and make it very easy as they're going through. It's visually appealing on the eyes. I want the message to come across as the same way that the design does. It's unique, it's familiar, but it's new and fresh. So that is 12 Gates, and thank you very much.